September 11th, 2024. I had to work today or I would have done this video in the daylight. And I talk a lot about ancient history and historical spots and travel that I go to. But 2001, on September 11th, I was in high school, and you'll hear a lot of people my age, and especially those that are a little bit older, talk about how the world changed that day. And it's hard if you were not here to understand that the world did change. That morning I was actually skipping school. I mean, I had a headache, I was sick, I wasn't skipping school, right? Yeah, but it was okay because my mother was also skipping work, so she was home. We both happened to be home that day. And the news came on around the time of the Today Show in New York City. And I remember at that time, of course, we had VCRs and VHS tapes and things like that. All things that we don't, I mean, they still exist, but a lot of people don't know what they are. And so we were trying to find a blank tape to record everything the news was going on about. And at first, it was reported that there was an accident, and that was a small plane, and then the news just kind of kept coming in from there up until the time where we knew that at least 4 planes were involved. And there's certain things when I look back at the video I pulled out. Every channel, where's the president? Because the president had been moved to a secure location. Because as far as anybody knew, we were at war. It was very not anything that we expected that morning at all. But nobody knew what was going on. But there was a certain stillness, a certain quiet that day as I walked out right about where that light was. There's a clothesline pole in my backyard. And this was a couple hours into that day, and I remember by this time the planes had started being grounded, and I'm in Memphis, so we have a major plane route right here, goes right over my house. And there was this stillness and this quiet. Like, even you may have heard the car in my front yard going by. I don't remember even hearing the interstate traffic, and that may just be a faulty memory, but it was just, there was this stillness and this quiet. And I look at the banners on these videos, and I posted a couple of clips about the churches. Some were open by noon, and many were open by 7. With the Hickory Ridge Mall Club was closed. Most people don't even remember when Hickory Ridge Mall was a mall. It's a shop of loosely connected community services offices now with 1 or 2 stores. But back then it was a legitimate mall, a thriving mall, carousels and everything. But not now. A lot has changed. We didn't have iPhones.
On Broadway at Fullerton, and suddenly we heard an explosion. It was the first tower coming down, and down Broadway you could just see this wall of debris come flying at us. And I was by myself, I took cover in between a column and the building at 195 Broadway, and we stood there I crouched there probably for about a good 5 minutes. It took that long for all the debris to come by, for the air to clear. When I got up, I was covered head to toe with debris. They opened the building, the gates in that building had been locked. They opened the doors, we went inside. They had evacuated this building, which was some 28 floors of commercial space, right after the first plane went into the World Trade Center. We stood in there, you could see outside, it looked like a war zone. Debris, dust, ankle deep, cars on fire, cars turned askew in the explosion. We decided to stay inside. I was there with some firemen and some maintenance workers of this building. We decided to stay in there because it appeared to be safer inside. Then at about 10:30, it looked like everything was all clear. I started to walk out. I walked down Broadway towards Canal, and we heard a second explosion. I ran back into the building. All the chandeliers shook. Again, we were covered with black debris from everywhere. At that point, a fireman came into the building and said we all had to stay in one place. He then told us all to get out of the building because they felt if there was a third explosion that this building would be in danger. And then I walked down Broadway to Canal Street, and it was like walking through something that looked like out of a movie set of a nuclear holocaust. It was nothing but debris and papers and all parts of buildings down and glass.
Can we please move?
I will,
please.
sir. I will.
Right now, please.
Tell people, please move back. They're
All right,
trying to get us
obviously, Ann Thompson. Ann, thank you very much for that report. Ann's being asked to move her location. Obviously, firefighters and police officers are frantically trying to help those people who have been hurt, who perhaps have not been rescued, or perhaps to retrieve even bodies as a result of this.
So many people in this country obviously in a state of shock over what's happened in several locations, but at times like this you do find people who try to rally to do what they can at St. Vincent's Hospital, which is just south of the World Trade Center, where they've taken a lot of the wounded, 184 patients in total, 10 critical. There are lines now of people who are showing up to donate blood, which is something
Heartening in the face of this tragedy. Catherine Hughes is at Virginia Hospital Center, where many of the people who were hurt at the Pentagon, where yet another plane crashed early this morning, is here to tell us what the situation is. Is this the old Arlington Hospital, Catherine?
Yes, it is, Katie.
Can you tell us about the people you're seeing there?
We now have approximately 26 patients. We are expecting more. They're coming in at the moment. We have called in additional surgeons, nurses, and other staff members to help with this crisis. And we've seen basically a variety of medical issues coming in. We do have some in surgery at this time.
So tell me about the medical issues that these individuals are experiencing, Catherine, if you could.
As I said, there are a variety of medical issues, some severe and some not. We do have some cuts, burns, people coming in with shortness of breath. We took our first person at about 10:35 this morning, and they are coming from the Pentagon area.
Catherine, if you could give us an idea, is this the only area hospital that is treating people who are inside the Pentagon at the time of the crash, or have they been diverted to other hospitals as well?
I don't know that. I know that we have already seen 26, and we currently are receiving patients